Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really practical and, honestly, pretty fascinating. We're going to look at a real-world scenario of how a growing Boston professional services firm completely transformed their chaotic back-office operations into one beautifully streamlined system. We're walking through a day in the life of a firm called Harbor People Partners, and we'll see exactly how they use the Biznsbook platform to run their entire people operations. So let's just jump right in. But first, let's address a pain point that might hit a little too close to home, right? If you've ever tried running a business where you're juggling one app for HR, some giant, clunky manual spreadsheet for your payroll, and then a totally different piece of software just for employee expenses, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The double data entry, the endless errors, and that agonizing month-end close where literally nothing balances. It's a total nightmare. And that is exactly the chaos Harbor People Partners wanted to avoid as they started to scale. All right, Section 1, meet Harbor People Partners. So let's meet the folks actually running the show. Harbor is a tight-knit firm, and we're really going to focus on two key players today. We've got Ava Morgan. She's the managing partner overseeing all operations and final approvals. And then there's Mia Collins, their dedicated HR consultant who runs the day-to-day people ops. Now, what's super interesting here is how easily Mia translated their real-world organizational structure straight into Biznsbook. She set up their core departments right there in the HR master settings: people operations, client delivery, and finance and admin. Then she mapped out their specific designations, everything from Ava's role as managing partner all the way to the office administrator. And this isn't just cosmetic, by the way. Getting this right in Biznsbook is the foundation that automatically drives permissions, reporting, and manager hierarchies down the line. Moving on to Section 2, managing the Harbor team. With the whole structure in place, Mia's daily routine involves keeping their core employee data perfectly in sync. Now, the number 8, that is the current size of Harbor's core team. But look, even with a smaller team of 8 employees, administrative complexity definitely still exists. So, Mia uses the systems directory to maintain everyone's profiles and work emails. The platform effortlessly tracks their manager hierarchy, so the system inherently knows Ava is at the top for approvals. And it even manages specific employment life cycles. For example, they've got one new hire on probation right now, and Biznsbook natively handles that probation to permanent transition without a hitch. And of course, managing people means managing when they aren't working. Time off. Mia configured their exact leave policies directly into the system. She set up their standard casual leave, sick leave, and annual leave. But she didn't just stop at standard U.S. national holidays. She was able to easily add a custom company-specific event, Harbor People Founders Day. Because this is all centralized in one platform, when an employee requests any of these days off, the system automatically checks it against their accrued balances. No spreadsheets required. Now, here's a really smart implementation strategy that Harbor used, and I want to highlight it. They've actually fully licensed the Employee Self-Service, or ESS, and the document modules. However, they deliberately held off on rolling out those user interface portals to the staff. Why? Because rolling out a new ERP is a journey, right? It doesn't happen overnight. By keeping the initial focus strictly on HR and payroll for just Mia and Ava to master first, they're maintaining a highly controlled, phased rollout. The capability is sitting right there under the hood, but they're waiting until Phase 2 to introduce those self-service screens to the rest of the team. It's a great move. Section 3, running the monthly payroll. So Mia handles the heavy lifting right now, and let's be real, nothing is heavier than the monthly payroll. Before Biznsbook, running their July 2026 payroll would have taken days of cross-referencing messy spreadsheets. But now, it's a seamless 3-step workflow. Step 1, Mia just makes sure the default salary structures and components are assigned to the 8 employees. Step 2, she creates the specific payroll period for July 2026 and kicks off the run. And Step 3, the system automatically calculates the final totals, generating their specific reference run, Pay Harbor 2026-07. It seamlessly pulls in their base pay, factors in any unpaid leave based on those policies we just talked about, and prepares the whole package for office final approval. And the result is kind of amazing. As Mia Collins says, generating Pay Harbor 2026-07 took just a few clicks. By unifying their HR data directly with their payroll engine, the system already knows exactly who's employed, what their salary defaults are, and what leave they've taken. It completely eliminates the manual calculation anxiety from Mia's month-end tasks. Which brings us to Section 4, processing employee expense claims. Okay, so beyond basic salaries, a professional services firm like Harbor naturally racks up operating costs. The consultants are traveling to clients, they're buying meals, they're expensing software subscriptions. Let's trace a real batch of those expenses to see how the money and approvals actually flow. On day 1, Mia enters 3 claims into the system, references Harbor XB001 through 003. She selects the default categories, adds the amounts, and marks them as reimbursable since the consultants paid out of pocket. Then on day 2, thanks to that manager hierarchy we configured back in step 1, Ava Morgan gets a notification. She reviews the pending claims and just clicks approve. Finally, on day 3, once payment is recorded, the magic happens. The system automatically posts those journal entries straight to the general ledger.
And that is exactly what's happening under the hood here. The real reason Ava and Mia aren't tearing their hair out over double entry accounting is because Biznsbook relies on a central accounting posting service. Whenever Ava approves an expense, or when Mia finalizes that July payroll run, the system automatically validates and balances the debits and credits before it even saves. The expense correctly debits the expense account and credits the employee payable account, and it all happens without Mia needing a CPA license. Everything ties back perfectly to a single chart of accounts.
Finally, Section 5, the connected business advantage. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture for Ava, Mia, and the entire team at Harbor. It really all comes down to this stark contrast. The old way, that's a chaotic web of disconnected spreadsheets, scattered HR data, and those incredibly high-risk manual journal entries just trying to force everything to balance at month end. But the Biznsbook way, it gives Harbor one single source of truth. The employer record, the leave balance, the payroll run, and the expense claim, they're all interconnected. Automated double entry ensures the finance side is always flawlessly accurate and perfectly aligned with their centralized people ops. Which really leaves us with this final, crucial question to think about. Seeing how effortlessly Harbor People Partners manages their entire team, their complex payroll, and their daily expenses all in one place, how much time could a unified source of truth save your month-end close? Because when your HR, payroll, and accounting finally speak the exact same language, the time you save is time you can actually spend growing your business. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.